administration of bank fraud for paperwork she signed while buying her niece a home in Norfolk, Virginia, which is also in the Eastern District of Virginia. She has denied that anything involved with the paperwork for that home purchase was mortgage fraud. But the case was approved by a grand jury in Alexandria, Virginia today. The case then heads to Norfolk, Virginia, which is the area of Virginia where the alleged crime took place. Tish James's case, though, comes not in a vacuum, but it comes just days after President Trump posted on social media to his attorney general that he thought Tish James should be charged with a crime, saying that justice needs to be served. She has been a longtime political rival of the president's. She brought a successful civil suit against then former President Trump in New York. Tish James has, again, denied any wrongdoing in relation to this matter, but the prosecution was handled by Lindsay Halligan. Who is Lindsay Halligan? She is the recently appointed U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia. She was a former White House aide for President Trump. She succeeded a different Trump appointee who did not bring forward a case against Letitia James. This is all very similar, Maurice, to what we saw with former FBI Director James Comey. The same grand jury in the same courthouse in Alexandria, Virginia, indicted James Comey on 2 federal charges to which he pleaded not guilty yesterday. And now it appears they brought forward at least a charge unknown, against Tish James.
Okay, Scott, so now Tish James has to answer the charges at some point. What happens next?
Again, the case is going to shift from Alexandria, Virginia to Norfolk, Virginia. There's different courthouses in Virginia that the Department of Justice operates in. The grand jury was in Alexandria, but the case goes to Norfolk. At some point after this charge surfaces in the court docket, after the indictment is publicly available, there will be some form of an initial or preliminary hearing, potentially an arraignment. That's something that likely happens in a matter of days. The Attorney General of New York would be a criminal defendant of the federal government in Virginia.
Okay, extraordinary to just hear you say those words. Scott MacFarlane, thank you. Let's go to the White House now. Nancy Cordes has been monitoring reaction there. Nancy, what are you hearing?
Maurice, we have asked the White House for official reaction now that Letitia James has been formally indicted. We haven't received it yet, but as you can imagine, the president is going to be thrilled to hear this because he has been pushing his Department of Justice to do exactly what they have done today. You put it up on the screen, that True Social from the president a couple of weeks ago that was directed to his attorney general saying, what about Letitia James? What about James Comey? What about Adam Schiff? These are 3 of his longtime political foes. Why aren't we going after them? They are all, in his words, guilty as hell, but nothing is going to be done. Well, now 2 of the 3 of those individuals are being indicted. And the president was asked the other day, Maurice, whether he fears that what is seen by many as his interference, putting his thumb on the scale, urging his own Department of Justice to go after these individuals, in some cases years after the incidents that he has construed as crimes. He says that he doesn't think that that is a problem, that he is well within his rights to do it, to say it, that in his view, these individuals are criminal actors and need to face the consequences. And when asked whether he thinks that it's going to be problematic for prosecutors as they try to proceed with these cases, he says he doesn't believe that that's going to be a problem, and he is simply exercising his First Amendment rights.
And Nancy, when critics call this an act of political retribution, or at least when they said that about the James Comey indictment, what are folks at the White House saying other than the president? What are they saying behind the scenes?
They typically point to people who were allies, are allies of President Trump, even President Trump himself, who were prosecuted, who were taken to court for various things over the past 10 years. And they would argue that that this is simply turnabout being fair play. They say that the president and people around him have been targeted for years, and now this is simply the other side facing the music. They believe that these are legitimate cases that need to see their day in court, even if the people who are being targeted, like James Comey has said, they insist that these are trumped-up charges and an example of the president interfering with the legal process to try to get revenge.
Makes one wonder what happens next here. Okay, Nancy Cordes at the White House, thank you. Let's come back to Justice Correspondent Scott McFarland. You had a comparison here, Scott, to the Comey situation. What do you have?
Yeah, when you ask what's going to happen next, Maurice, you can take a look at the very symmetrical case against James Comey, who was mentioned in that same Truth Social post as Letitia James. James Comey yesterday, when he was arraigned in the federal court, not only pleaded not guilty, but his defense attorney said they are going to file a motion to get the case dismissed, arguing vindictive, selective prosecution. You can go to any federal courthouse in America and you'll find defendants each day saying they're being selectively or vindictively prosecuted, but this one, they argue, is different. The president name-checked these individuals to his attorney general, and in a matter of days, a hand-selected federal prosecutor with a close allegiance to the president herself went into the grand jury and secured an indictment. The U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan did indeed successfully execute her argument. The grand jury found there was reason to hand up an indictment, but there could be a different type of case here, Maurice, a different type of argument for selective prosecution. James Comey's argument will be submitted to the court by October 20th.
Okay, Scott McFarland, thank you so much for that. It is easier to indict someone than it is to convict them. We'll keep that in mind as we watch this going forward. Once again, New York's Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted by a federal grand jury. No specific charge has been listed just yet, but our coverage will continue on CBS News 24/7, your local news, and tonight on the CBS Evening News. This has been a CBS News Special Report. I'm Maurice Dubois. We'll see you later.
And we are continuing to follow that breaking news. The clerk of the Court of Eastern Virginia says a grand jury has officially indicted New York Attorney General Letitia James. Now, we're going to continue to follow this breaking news, but as we mentioned earlier, this is coming as one of Donald Trump is putting pressure on his Attorney General to prosecute his quote, enemies. We're going to stay on top of this breaking news story and bring you the very latest right here on CBS News 24/7.
No matter how you start your day, one thing is very clear.
CBS Mornings is the best way to start your day.
You better work!
Clearly.
We welcome you to CBS Mornings. I'm Gail King.
I'm Tony Nicole. I'm Nate Burleson.
Let's go.
CBS Mornings is clearly smart.
Is this a different way of doing philanthropy?
Rent at an affordable level and invest.
Could this change the way that we think about vaccines?
CBS Mornings is clearly fun. Don't you bow to your emperor.
She said,
hello, Miss Badass. We go from one badass to another.
Good morning!
It's like, yes, it's finally happening.
You meet the nicest people in our progressive green room. Guess who's here?
Jeff!
CBS Mornings is clearly uplifting.
I get goosebumps when I think about this game.
It just warms your heart. I feel alive. You will too.
We'll see you
On CBS Mornings.
Weekdays at 7. Have a sunshiny day.
Fire away, you know me, man.
UFC's no-holds-barred leader. It's time for Dana White.
Yeah, I get it. We're on 60 Minutes.
When you need your sports in us now,
We're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.
This is CBS.